Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. I hope I am properly audible and visible. Good evening. So, I guess now I'm properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening. Yes, I am here. So, I guess I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Yes. Okay. So, thank you for confirming, everyone. Now, in the last session, we were discussing about the West Asian crisis. We have also discussed about the special economic zones. We have discussed about one place also, that is Cyprus. Okay. So these were the topics which we have discussed in the last session. Now in today's session, the topics which we are going to discuss, one is about Cyprus once again. Okay. So now we are going to see it a little bit like a little bit more in detail about this Cyprus again. The second topic which we are going to talk about is from the economy section, which is related to trade deficit. And this is going to be one of the very crucial topic, because today we are going to look at some of the very important data, the updated data with respect to trade deficit. The third thing which we are going to talk about is with respect to census. So it is part of your polity and governance. Okay. And the fourth part is again with respect to international relation, India at G7. And one more thing which is again with respect to international relation is FATF, Financial Action Task Force. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss. There have been some other articles also, like there is one article on civil nuclear liability. Okay. Like the nuclear, if there is any nuclear accidents or anything, so whose liability it will be. So that is also one of the articles, civil nuclear liability. There is also some other articles in this same newspaper, but today we could not cover all of them. So in upcoming sessions, whenever there is a lesser topic, whenever we don't have that much of topic in the newspaper, so we will cover that two section, civil nuclear liability bill and some other topics. Okay. So these were also there in the newspaper. Yes, Ashish, you can post your question. Whatever questions you have, you can post it here on the chat or later on in the comment box also. So if you have any question of any kind, you can put it there, okay, and I will answer that. So let's start it, but before that, let's see some questions. So here we have this one question. Consider the following: Lebanon, Syria, Egypt and Iran. How many of the above countries share border with Israel? Here we have option only one, only two, sorry, only three, and all four. So little bit change in the options. Consider the following: Lebanon, Syria, Egypt and Iran. How many of the above countries share border with Israel? So this is the one question which we are going to see. Which of them are sharing border with Israel? Good evening. Hindi optional. I think Ashish, for Hindi optional, we are already having this one option. Ajay Anurag sir is taking the classes of Hindi optional. So you can just visit the Hindi channel, and there on the Hindi channel, you will find this option of this Hindi optional. So there you can join it. Okay. So Lebanon, Syria, Egypt and Iran. How many of the countries are sharing border with Israel? C option. Okay. So I think you can get the answer. Egypt is sharing, Syria is sharing, Lebanon is sharing, Iran is not sharing the border. So answer is option number C, that is only 3. Now, here we have this one question with respect to DNA profiling. Consider the following statements regarding DNA profiling. The DNA of any dead person remains intact forever, unlike the body parts. Short tandem repeats are considered highly accurate for matching and establishing family relationships. Mitochondrial DNA can be used to determine paternal relationship. So how many of the above are correct? Only one, only two, or all three, or none? Book of Hindi literature. Uh, Ashish, I cannot tell you about this book of Hindi optional. I just know this one part only, that there is one Hindi optional in UPSC. Apart from that, for Hindi, I don't know what books will be suitable. That can be told only by those people who are expert of that optional. They can tell you about it. So yes, what is the answer? B option, C option? Yes. Now tell me the answer for this question. Consider the following statement regarding DNA profiling. The DNA of any dead person remain intact forever, unlike the body parts. The short tandem repeats are considered highly accurate for matching and establishing family relationship. The third is saying mitochondrial DNA can be used to determine paternal relationship. So this one is incorrect. I think everyone knows that this one is the incorrect statement. So third one is incorrect. Second is correct, that short tandem repeats are considered as highly accurate for establishing the family relationship or even for forensic analysis. So second one is correct. The first one is saying the DNA of any dead person remains intact forever. How it will remain intact forever? We have seen last day also that suppose if DNA gets degraded, then we have other options like single nucleotide polymorphism. So there I have told you this part also, that if DNA is degraded, so we use this one option, single nucleotide polymorphism, to detect the relationship of any person with any members or to identify a person. So DNA gets like destroyed, especially in hot and humid climate, it gets destroyed. It is sometimes also called as environmental DNA. So it gets destroyed in a shorter period of time. The first one is incorrect. The DNA is also getting destroyed or changed in its form. So that is not correct. The second option is the only correct option. The answer will be A option, only one. Special economic zones. That is one question about special economic zones. They are treated as foreign territory in matters of trade operation. SEZ are established for promotion of exports. Companies in SEZ are allowed to sell their entire goods in domestic economy without any tariff. How many of the above are correct? Okay, Ashish, I will tell you tomorrow. After asking from sir, I will tell you tomorrow. Okay. Environment book for GS. For environment, just go through the class notes, NCERT and current affairs. In environment, when they're asking question in prelims or mains, it is coming from current affairs, basic concepts, and basic issues which is going on. In books, we have coverage of traditional things. So just go through your class notes, NCERT and current affairs. That will be sufficient. B option. So I think here, most of the people are correct. They are treated as foreign territory in matters of trade operation. That is correct. SEZ are established for promotion of export. That is also correct. But they will not be allowed to sell their products without any tariff. If they pay their tariff, they will be allowed to sell it. We have recently seen that there is one change, that they will be allowed to sell their products inside the country also if they pay the tariff. So this third option is incorrect. Answer is B option, only 2. Okay. So this is the answer for question number 3. Now the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session, the first one is the Cyprus question. The first one is about this one, the Cyprus question. Okay. So let's see this one part. It's not that we have written it Cyprus question, it is the common term, the Cyprus question. Okay. So basically, if you look at this, what we are actually referring to, this is the location of Cyprus. This is the part of Cyprus, and this is another portion. This is another portion which is under the control of other leaders, means that is considered separate, that is considered different from the mainland Cyprus, or like this is the original Republic of Cyprus, and this is a part of it which has declared independence. Now this region is also under the influence of Turkey. Okay. So what we see here, that this region of Nicosia is basically the capital, and in Nicosia Prime Minister has visited, Indian Prime Minister has visited in this area. So if we talk about the Cyprus question, since 1974, since this 1974, what we see that this region of Cyprus, it has been divided into North Cyprus and the Republic of Cyprus. Okay. So there is upper portion, North Cyprus, and this is backed by Turkey. Means this one is supported by Turkey, or right now these days it is called as Turkey. Okay. So it is supported by Turkey, and there is Republic of Cyprus. So there is another one called as Republic of Cyprus. Okay. So what we have seen that recently the Indian Prime Minister has visited Cyprus. Okay. And it's not that we are having a relationship for the first time. In the past also, Indian presidents have visited Cyprus, Indian prime ministers have visited Cyprus. So if we talk about this region of Cyprus, so this has been an important area for India. India has advocated for its freedom in the 1950s. Okay. So India has supported, if we talk about India, India has supported freedom of Cyprus. And at the same time, Cyprus also supports India's bid for permanent membership of United Nations Security Council. Cyprus also supports India on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. So what we see that this Republic of Cyprus supports India, supports UNSC permanent seat for India, and also like supports us in the case of Jammu and Kashmir and all other major issues. So India and Cyprus has got a good relation. Now what we see that when the Indian Prime Minister has visited Cyprus, it is like there is two goal here. There is two goal here, that is two bird with one stone. Okay. Two major goals here. One is support to Cyprus against Turkey. Okay. So we have seen that India and Turkey relations are not at very good level. In fact, Prime Minister had chosen Cyprus as the first destination. Cyprus as the first destination before going to any other country after the Operation Sindoor. So after Operation Sindoor, this is the first country where Indian Prime Minister has visited. So that is one important part, that it is the first destination. Okay. There has been a joint statement of India and Cyprus where India has said that it supports the independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity and unity of Republic of Cyprus. Okay. So it has supported the independence, sovereignty, integrity and unity of Republic of Cyprus. So it is directly saying this. Okay. It is like directly supporting Cyprus. Now, India has not mentioned Turkey directly, or neither the joint statement is mentioning Turkey. But what has been said that that in a joint statement they have said that any unilateral action will not be tolerated or is not good. Okay. So it has said that any unilateral action by any country is not good. There must be a meaningful discussion on these disputes. So India has first supported Cyprus against Turkey. That is one bird. Second part is India has also got the same thing for European Union. Last day also we have seen it. Last day also we have seen that Cyprus is going to get the presidency. What we see that? Presidency in 2026. So India is trying to have a deal with European Union also, and in that case Cyprus is going to have the presidency next year. So that will be a very important part for India, that with a good relations with Cyprus, this is a good start for India's endeavor towards European Union. Okay. Just a second. Yes. So European Union presidency will be there with Cyprus in 2026. So that is one positive part. Plus we see that order of Macarius 3 on PM Modi. Okay. So we have also seen that the highest honor, the Grand Cross of Order of Macarius 3, Grand Cross of Order of Macarius 3. This is the highest honor. This one is the highest honor of Cyprus. So it has been given to PM Modi. Okay. It has been given to PM Modi. So this is one part, India and Cyprus relations are improving. So that is not improving but getting further strengthened. It is getting further strengthened. So and in the upcoming time it is going to help us to control that part of Turkey also, as well as India's entry for European Union, India's Middle East Europe economic corridor. So for all these factors, this one is quite important. The Cyprus is quite important. Okay. हाँ, तो एक और honor, it has been more than 20, I think 23 or some honors have been provided to Indian Prime Minister by different countries. Last year it was from Dominican Republic, other countries. So no gold. You know one thing, that even if any such award is given or any such gift which is provided to Prime Minister or President, it is not their personal gift. Even if they are getting those gifts, it is not their personal gift. The gift has been given to Prime Minister of India. So when they leave the office, when they leave the Prime Minister house, that entire medal and all other things will go to the Parliament House. Okay. It will not be taken by the person. The award doesn't belong to the person. The award belongs to the post. Okay. So it has been given to Indian Prime Minister. So even if it is gold or even if it is just cloth, it doesn't matter. So I hope this part is clear. The first one, India, Cyprus. Coming to the second portion, trade deficit. 22, 23, perhaps like that. Okay. So here we have this one very important data, and there is one thing called as Niryat portal. There is one thing called as Niryat portal of India. So when you are going for exam, like those who are going for mains this year, the data which I will give you, that will be final. But for suppose if you want to update yourself, like for next year, if you want to update yourself, just remember one thing, there is an authentic website of government, Niryat portal. And when you search there, you will get the data. You will get the authentic government data. So from that itself, we have taken the data related to exports of India. Okay. So what we see that India's total trade deficit, it has come down to $6.6 billion. So we are still having trade deficit. We are still having trade deficit, but it is decreasing. Okay. So this is as per the data of May 2025. This is as per data of May 2025 that our trade deficit is at the level of $6.6 billion. It has gone up to like $8.7 billion in the month of April. In March, it was 3.6. So this is a monthly update. So you don't have to like look at this or note it down for the monthly updates. But we will see one yearly update about the export and other things. Okay. So here, this is the monthly update. Remember this one part, this is a monthly update. And you don't have to note it down, you have to just look at this, that our trade deficit is changing. Now keep one thing in mind here, that what actually is trade deficit? What do we mean by trade deficit? See, when there is lesser export and more import. Okay, so if import is greater than export, then we see that there is trade deficit. There is one thing called as trade deficit. And right now, for the month of May 2025, we have a trade deficit of $6.6 billion. Okay. So right now, and in the month of May 2025, we have a trade deficit of $6.6 billion. This is for May 2025. But this is not the figure which you have to note down or which you have to revise later. You have to just know the concept, what is trade deficit. And then we have some other data. Okay. So this is one thing which you can put in your mains writing also. Or these are the trends which can be asked in prelims exam also. So what is this one trend? From 2013-14, to the level of 2023-24, in the 10 years, our export has increased by 67%. Okay. So what we see that India's export has increased by 67% over the last 10 years. So from 2013-14 to the 2023-24, there has been an increase in our exports. Okay. So this is point number one, that it is 67% in the last 10 years. Now, there are some other data. Like this is the data of India's export to different regions. Okay. So right now also you can see the major region is North America. Right now the major locations where we have our export is North America, then European Union, then we see that Northeast Asia, then we have West Asia, and then we have the ASEAN. Gulf countries, West Asia and Gulf countries, West Asia and Gulf countries, and then we have the ASEAN. So these are the 5 major locations. Now, remember one thing, this 1 and second number, 1 and 2, it keeps on changing. This is the major export destination, but 1 and 2 keeps on changing. Sometimes it is European Union, sometimes it is North America. So these are the 2 major export destinations. So when Trump is having its policy changes, or when European Union is having any such policy change, why do we discuss in current affairs? I think now you know that whenever there is a policy change in European Union, or when there is a policy change in North America, why we get concerned? Because of this. North America and Europe are the 2 major export destinations of India. This is the data of 2023-24. And over the period of time, it has significantly grown. Okay, it has significantly grown. There is one region particularly here. There is one such region particularly here which has seen tremendous growth. That is of West Asia. If we talk about the West Asia, it was very low. It was on the lower side in 2004-05. But in the last 20 years, we have seen tremendous growth. In 2004 and 5, our total export to Gulf countries or West Asia was just around $10 billion. Now it has increased up to $56.32 billion. So that is a tremendous increase, especially with respect to West Asia. Even for ASEAN, our trade is increasing. So these are the major regions of trade. Now, this is the data of 2023-24. And you can see the source, it is from PIB. There is another part which you can see here. Now, this is the data of 2024-25. This is the data of 2024-25 as per the Niryat portal. There is a change. There is a change. That's why we are seeing this. There is a change in here. And what is that change? Earlier, we used to consider petroleum products as the major item of export from India. Petroleum products were considered as the major item of exports from India. Right now, it has been replaced. Replaced by what? Engineered goods. Engineered goods. Okay. The first number is that of engineered goods. Engineered goods. This has the $116.67 billion that is from engineered goods. It includes automobiles, it includes equipments, machineries, iron and steel, etc. So engineered goods are the #1 item of export from India. Second number is petroleum products. On second number, we have petroleum products. And on third number, just see it, it is the electronics. On third number, we have electronics. On fourth number, we have drugs. Drugs means medicines. On the fifth number, we have gems and jewelries. So there is a massive change in the export profile of India. Earlier, petrol and gems and jewelries, they were the major item of export from India. Things have changed now. #1 position is of engineered goods. Second position is that of petroleum products. Third position is that of electronic goods. Fourth position, drugs and pharmaceuticals. And fifth position is that of gems and jewelries. Okay. So this is as per the government's Niryat portal. Niryat means export. In English, it is called as export. Okay. So this is one change. Major locations you can see. This is the North American region that has got $96 billion. And this is the European region which has got 98 billion. So for 2023-24, it was US or North America. For 23-24, it was North America. For 2024-25, 24-25, it is Europe. Okay. So that's why I told you that these things keep on changing. So here we have Europe as $98 billion, the major destination of our export. On the second number, we have this North Atlantic region, this $96 billion. In the third region, we have the Western Asia and Africa, North Africa. Here we have $71 billion. Okay. This is the region of West Asia and North Africa. This is the third major region where we have $71 billion of export. So when there is a crisis in West Asia, why we need to be concerned, or why it is a matter of concern for us, I think you get the point now. There are three prominent regions for India right now. One is, of course, the North American region, second is the European region, and third is the West Asia, North African region. So these are the three major regions. Here we have $71 billion, Europe we have $98 billion, and North America we have $96 billion. Okay. Then you can see there are certain regions of untapped potential. Like see, for the entire Latin American countries, our export is only $15 billion. So here it is a potential. This is a potential zone where we need to enhance our engagement. We need to enhance our engagement with even other portions like this, the regions of Russia and nearby regions. So there also we need to enhance our presence. It is only $7 billion. So this is the location of India's export data trend. Okay. Then again, we have this one thing about states. Which state has major share in export? So at the number one position, we have Gujarat. Gujarat has got around 29.88% share. 29.88% share in the export. Then on second number, we have Maharashtra. Its account for 16.92%. Okay. Then we have Tamil Nadu at 13.38%. Karnataka is there at 7.83%. If you just look at these these four states, you will find that this is roughly equal to like more than 2/3. Okay. This is roughly equal to 2/3. These four states approximately more than 2/3 of India's export. So this is one part. What to get Persianized, sir? Because when we miss Pratibha Patil Singh, that was one single event about Pratibha Patil. That was one single event. But in most of the case, generally when people get the gift, they leave it at the president house. Okay. So generally this is the part. But if you see, Bihar is on the very lower side. Bihar has a total contribution of 2 billion. Okay. Bihar has a total contribution of 2 billion in export. And the thing is, it is reducing. It is not in fact growing, it is reducing. So Bihar's share in the export is $2 billion. It is not 2%, it is $2 billion total amount. If you look at this part of like total export from Gujarat or other states, it goes in like 65 billion or 116 billion. But in case of Bihar, the total share in the export is of $2 billion. So this is one part, the data with respect to like now just keep a few things in mind. Which are the top states, which are the top regions, which are the top products of export. So that's three things which I have given you in this thing, in this part, which you have to keep in mind. Top products, top countries, top states. If you just keep these three things in mind, then it will be useful for you in the prelims also, and you can use this for writing mains answer as well. So that is our data part. Now, coming to this one part, census, it has been notified. So we know that now there has been an official notification. Okay. So census is going to be conducted in 2027. Okay. Officially, it has been said that census is going to be conducted in 2027. Okay. Now, what we see that it has been given by Registrar General. Registrar General. This has given the official notification. It has given the official notification. Okay. So, Registrar General, and this comes under MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. This Registrar General, it is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So, it has given this official notification as per Section 3 of Census Act 1948. Okay. So, what we see that official notification under Section 3 of Census Act 1948. So, Registrar General who is there under the Ministry of Home Affairs, so they have published the official gazette notification, and as per that, census is going to be conducted by 2027. Okay. So now what we will see that after this has been announced, once this has been announced, now there will be no change in the boundaries. Okay. So now there is a hold on any change in boundaries. Like any district, no new district can be created. The boundary of districts cannot be changed. Even the boundaries of police station cannot be changed. The one of districts, tehsil. So until unless the census is completed, no change in the boundary. Okay. No change is going to be done in the boundary. Okay. No change in boundary. No change in boundary until census is completed. So this is one part, that there will not be change in the boundary of the police station, of the districts, of the tehsils, or any such subunits until unless the census is completed. So this is one thing which has been notified now. Now this census is going to be carried out. This census is going to be carried out with the help of digital technology. Basically, mobile phones are going to be used. So this time it will be a digital census. Okay. Then there is also self-enumeration options. People can get themselves listed there. They can get themselves enumerated there. The self-enumeration option will also be provided. Okay. Then we will see that data security. There is an emphasis, as per the Registrar General, there will be an emphasis on data security, collection, usage and storage of data. Okay. So collection, transmission and storage, that will be made secure as per the Registrar General. Okay. So census is finally going to be conducted, and once this is conducted, there will be change in the there can be a delimitation also, and at the same time there will be allocation of the seats for women also in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. So this census is a long awaited one, and now it is finally going to be conducted. So it has been officially announced now. So that is one part. Okay. Census will be 2031 or after 24? So I think now the census activity will start from 2027. So it will take almost 1 to 2 years or 3 years for getting it completed. So I think by 2031 they are going to publish that data. It's not that census data is going to come instantly. It's not that just after 10 days they will publish the census data. Okay. So census is going to be conducted in 2027. It will start from then. So that official time has been announced. So once that process starts, there will be around 34 lakh people who will be working for conducting of census. Around 34 lakh people will try to find out what is the population of India, what is the demography of India. This time it is going to be a caste census. This time there will be so many new inclusion in the census. So it is going to be a quite extensive task. It is going to be one of the most extensive tasks. So days, it will be conducted in years, not days. It will be conducted in a few years. Okay. We are not conducting census of smaller countries. It is going to be conducted for India, 1.46 crore people. Sorry, 146 crore people, 1.46 billion people. So that is going to be a long process. India's first digital census, yes. So you can mention your details over there. Earlier when census was getting conducted, there were so many mistakes in that. There were so many mistakes in that. So this time might be they will provide option for correction of all those mistakes. Many a times those people who are graduate, their educational qualification is written as they are only 12th pass or 10th pass. Sometimes people are not even 12th pass and it is written that they are graduate. So there are so many error in the census data. So this time when it is being conducted, we hope that it will be error-free data to the maximum extent possible. Of course, there may be certain error, but to maximum possible extent, it will be free from those errors. Okay. So let's see how it is created. I mean, of course, census will be fast, but they will have to physically go at all the location. It's fine that the name will be recorded on that register. Sorry, name will be recorded on the mobile phones instead of register. But then people will have to go to each and every home, each and every habitation, and then they will have to collect data. In past, if you have seen the census exercise, in the past, how it was being conducted. Like suppose if a census has to be conducted, so those officers who were in charge of census, they were not going home to home. They were not going from one home to other home. They were simply sitting at some place, asking from some of the old members of the village or the community that, okay, tell me how many people are there in that village, what is their name. Okay. So then there were a few people sitting over there. They were telling about that, okay, in this house 4 people are living. Their name is Sonu, Golu, Choti, Moti, etc. Okay. So in this manner they were giving the name. So next, when the census is going to be conducted this time, it may be a better census. It may be a error-free census. Okay. So let's hope so about the census. Now, coming to the next part. That is India at G7. Yes, it is conducted in phases, correct. So now we have this one thing. If you see today's news channels, like I was seeing one of the thumbnail of one news channel, I don't remember the name. Just when I opened the YouTube, there was of any news channel which was showing that Canada mein hua chamatkar, and then some other things were also written. So when Indian Prime Minister reached Canada, so the thumbnails of Indian news channels were reading like this, that Canada mein hua chamatkar. So these type of headlines or thumbnails you can see in Indian media. Okay. But let's talk about the G7 first. That what is G7? You know that when we talk about G7, this is basically a informal. This is not a formal but an informal bloc. Okay. It is an informal bloc. This is basically an informal bloc, and that too of industrialized democracy. This is an informal bloc of industrialized democracies. So they are present here, industrialized democracies. And what do? They basically come together. They are basically coming together. They are having G7 summits. They are having these summits. Okay. They are having these summits from year to year in different countries. And what they are doing, they are discussing economic policy, global issues. Okay. So they are discussing about economic policies. They are also discussing global issues about politics, governance, etc. So they are getting united together at a place, and there they are just like discussing about different things. So there is not such any treaty. Okay. It is not a treaty based organization, not treaty based. So you will not find that any legally binding obligation or anything is there. There is not a formal structure. It is an informal institution. Simply, it is a political summit. You can simply understand it. It is a political summit. First of all, it was formulated or like founded in 1975. At that time, it was G6. At that time, it was G6. Then what we see that in 1976, it was joined by Canada. So Canada was not part in this G6. Later on, Canada joined this. It became G7. Then after what we see that in 1998, after the disintegration of Soviet Union, in 1998, Russia also joined it. What we see that Russia also joined this, and then it became G8. So it became this G8. But then in 2014, again the same Russia, it has been expelled or suspended. It has been suspended. So after that, it again becomes G7. So from 1975, from G6 to G7 to G8, back to G7. So we see that it is a continuously changing summit. It is not a formal group, like BRICS is a formal group, BIMSTEC is a formal group, NATO is a formal group, SCO is a formal group, G20 is a formal group. But this is not a formal group, it is an informal summit. So between the G7 members, there is a summit once in Canada, then in other countries, etc. So that is about the G7. So here, what we see that since 2019, India has been continuously attending the sessions of this G7. Like in 2019, it was in France. Then, of course, 2020 was COVID year. So 2021, it was then in United Kingdom. Then 22, it was in Germany. Then Japan. So India has been there at G7 continuously. So since 2019, what we see that since 2019, India has been regularly invited. India has been regularly invited India has been regularly invited. So although there is not going to be like a treaty or something which will be formed after this, what do we also see that in the recent times, this has been overshadowed. This has been overshadowed. It has been overshadowed by one organization, which is G20. Okay. There is another organization, G20, which has become more relevant as compared to the G7 in present times. Now tell me one simple thing. I think all of you know that. So who all are members of G7? Who all are members of G7? People tell wrong. Yes, of course, they tell about the wrong data to people. So tell me about this part, that who all are members of this G7. I think some name you already know. Like we have UK, US, France. So I think you know these countries very well. Plus Canada, we have just heard Canada is also there. Okay. Canada is also member. Plus we have Japan. Japan is also part of it. Plus we have Germany. And there is one more country. There is one more country. So tell me, which one is the remaining one? Which one is remaining one? Yes, that is Italy. Okay. So there is another country which is here, that is Italy. Okay. So we see that these are the G7 members. These are the G7 members, plus when you add Russia, it becomes G8. When you add 12 other countries from the world, it becomes G20. So in G20, India is also there, Brazil is also there, China is also there, Indonesia is also there, Saudi Arabia is there. So many other countries also become part of this G20 group. So G20 is like overshadowing this. Okay. Now, tell me about this, the relevance of G7 for India. Relevance of G7 for India. Are we going to get something special out of it? The answer is no. We are not going to get something special out of it, but at the same time, we must be there. Okay. We have to be there, because if there is some discussion, we must be part of it. Okay. Why? If they take any decision, if they are discussing anything, India's viewpoint is also important. India is the 4th largest economy of the world. Of course, it is going to become the 4th largest economy of the world in even market exchange rate. So in just a matter of few months, in 2025 itself, it has been said, but in 26, definitely we are going to be the 4th largest economy of the world. So in this scenario, if anything or any discussion is happening over economic matter or geopolitics or any such international organization, we have to be there. It is very much important that our voice must be heard there. Okay. So it is important for us in terms of economic cooperation. It is important for us in terms of geopolitics. It is important for us in terms of connectivity. See, it's not that we are going to make a deal with G7, but we can make a deal with France over there. We can have a deal with Italy over there. We can have a deal with other countries over there. So it's not that we are just going to be part of G7. On the sidelines of G7, we are also going to meet several other leaders there is going to be several other deals simultaneously. We are going to talk also about the issue of terrorism. Okay. We are going to also talk about, or we are going to also participate with respect to the policy of US or changing policy of US. So we have to be there. Okay. So it is not just that there is something which we will get from there directly, but we have to become part of it. We have to become part of G7 to discuss on all these issues. Our voice needs to be heard over there. Okay. Yes. In fact, that part also, India is also the voice of Global South. Okay. So we are also representing the Global South over there. So it is strategically important. It is strategically important. So this is one single region. Now, so that is one part. Let's see what happens at the G7 meeting. Apart from the new channels, Chamatkar, what else happens there? So after that, we will talk about this. That when we went there at G7 summit, what has been the outcomes? So we will discuss that later. There is another thing, FATF, Financial Action Task Force. So it has condemned the Pahalgam attack and it is going to release a report on state-sponsored terror. FATF had said that it is going to compile a report on state-sponsored terror. So this is one thing which has been said by FATF. Okay. Now, if we talk about this organization, it is the global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog. So it is looking over this money laundering and terrorist financing across the world. If we talk about this, this is an intergovernmental body which has 39 countries including India, and it has been established through the G7 summit in 1989. So when you see what is the relevance of G7, this is one of that. Okay. Then what we see that it has got 39 members including the European Commission and the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. The Gulf Cooperation Council, the European Union, they are also part of it. Okay. Now, if we talk about this, it is having its secretariat at OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. What we see that it has a decision-making body called as plenary. There is a name called as plenary. It is called as plenary, and it has a meeting thrice a year. So it is meeting at least thrice a year. It can meet for more time also, but minimum thrice a year it is meeting there. Okay. World Bank, then United Nations offices, regional development banks, they are also participating as observers in Financial Action Task Force. Then we see that it is trying to assess what is the work. Like if we talk about the work profile of this, what is the work which it actually does? It assesses, meant it is evaluating the strength of anti-money laundering and anti-terror financing framework of different countries. So it will try to evaluate if the laws are proper or not, if their implementation is proper or not. So that is being evaluated by the Financial Action Task Force. Okay. So this is another part. Then it has one thing called as blacklist. The official name of blacklist is call for action. Okay. So if a country is placed under this, if a country is placed under the blacklist, so what will happen then? It is simply like, it's not that there will be any strict action against that. It simply means that the country is not following international laws. It simply said that group has considered it non-cooperative in global fight against money laundering and terror financing. So if suppose World Bank is giving some loan to that country, it might reconsider its option. If IMF is giving loan, it might reconsider the option. If any regional development bank is giving loan to that country, they may reconsider their option. So that is blacklist, call for action. So there is no such immediate sanction on it, but it is like a warning. It is like a warning. Then we have the grey list. Grey list is also called as other monitored jurisdiction. Okay. So in these countries, if a country is in grey list, it means that there will be a closer scrutiny. There will be a closer scrutiny of the laws and the implementation of the laws of that country. So right now, there are 3 countries here. And as of June, there are 24 countries as of June 2025. Okay. So Vietnam is also there. Okay. Vietnam is also there. Then various other smaller countries of Africa are there. So these countries are there. Pakistan is not there. Okay. So we are concerned about Pakistan, but it is still not there. So what we see that there are 24 countries, like Croatia is also over there. Okay. Some other smaller African countries are there. So these are part of the grey list. So there is closer scrutiny over them. In case of blacklist, we have 3 countries. One is Myanmar. Then we have Iran. And then we have North Korea. So we have 3 countries which are part of the blacklist. Myanmar is there, Iran is there, and North Korea is there. So they are part of this blacklist. In the grey list, there are 24 countries. Okay. Vietnam is a neighboring country which is part of it. Okay. So I hope this part is also clear, that who are all members of grey list and all. So 3 countries in the blacklist and 24 nations are there in the grey list. Earlier it was 21, now some more have been included. So it's 24 now. Okay. Like Algeria, Angola, Bolivia, Croatia, these countries are there as part of the grey list. Any doubt in this? Why we cannot become member of G7 countries? There is no need of becoming member. G7 is like more of drama, less of work. G7 is more of drama, less of work. In the G20 meetings, there is actual some decision. G20 is a formal organization. And in G20, the presidency remains for 1 year. During the G20 meetings, there are actual things, there are actual organizations which are formed, actual programs which are launched. So in G7, it may have been relevant in past, but right now it is more of a political drama. It is more of a political debate discussion which goes on. There is no actual decision, because there was a time when the members of G7, they were basically allies of US. They were basically allies of US. But now there is a strife, there is a dispute among those members also. So it is more of a drama, less of work. So that's why let's be part of just the G20. And then we have BRICS, then we have BIMSTEC, then we have SCO. They remain more relevant. For NATO also, what is NATO doing? NATO is just like, for NATO it is simply like this. Ukraine was trying to become member of NATO. NATO was saying, yes, you apply to us, we will give you membership. So while there were discussion that Ukraine is going to join NATO, the process was so long that before becoming the member of NATO, Russia attacked on Ukraine. So now for more than 3 years, Ukraine is facing the brunt. NATO is still there in its offices and just keep on giving these threats. If Russia does this, then we will do that. Russia will have to pay a heavy fine. So for the last 3 years, they were saying just the same thing, that Russia will have to pay a huge sum of, they will have to pay back for this. There will be huge repercussions for Russia. There will be this sanction, that sanction. Now there is a discussion between US and Russia that, okay, This is your share, this is my share, and Ukraine has lost it all. So there is just this debate now. Russia has got its part. Russia has got some resources of Ukraine. It has shown to the world again that it can invade any country, okay, or it can like attack any country. It has not been very much successful, but it is still controlling some part of Ukraine. On the other hand, US has got itself a deal over the rare earth elements of Ukraine. What has Ukraine got? Neither the rare earth elements nor the war is over. Ukraine is just caught in this middle of US and Russia, like a Cold War or US and Russia enjoyment, and Ukraine is in the middle of that. Okay. So for NATO also the same thing goes. For G7 also it is more of political drama, less of work. Okay. That will be all for today. Thank you so much. Next day we will discuss more articles. Thank you.